They thought they had buried the story when they locked up Hayes and Reeves. They thought a private first class and a major were the top of the food chain. They were wrong. When I walked out of that frozen valley 14 months ago, carrying the encrypted drive that dismantled my immediate command, I knew I hadn't found everything. I knew the rot didn't stop at a colonel's desk. But I kept my mouth shut. I gave my testimony. I watched them take the handcuffs to my old officers. And I quietly took my discharge. I let the world think Julia Carter had retired to a quiet life with a Labrador named Duke and a normal civilian job. They wanted me to look like a survivor who got her justice and moved on. So I gave them exactly what they wanted to see. My name is Julia Carter, and what I didn't tell the military court, what I didn't even tell Rodriguez during our regular dinners, was that the encrypted drive had a secondary partition, a hidden layer of data that my contact's forensic specialist missed. But a civilian hacker friend of mine cracked 3 weeks ago, and on that partition was a name that made my blood run cold: General Marcus Vance. The man who signed the deployment orders for my entire operation. The man who sat on the Joint Chiefs Advisory Board. The man who had personally given me a commendation ribbon 6 years ago. He wasn't just protecting Hayes and Reeves. He was running them. And 3 days ago, I found out General Vance just put a private security detail on my house. They aren't there to protect me. They are waiting for the right moment to make the ghost soldier disappear for good. Except they forgot one thing. I don't hide in the valleys anymore. I own them. If your heart is racing right now, don't move. Subscribe to Silent Revenge Stories immediately, because what I did to General Vance's career, his shadow network, and his absolute arrogance over the next 72 hours didn't just break the military command structure. It completely shattered it. The moment my hacker friend Leo showed me the decrypted logs, I didn't panic. In special operations, panic is a luxury that gets you killed. You don't react. You assess, you plan, and you execute. The data showed a timeline of encrypted satellite communications originating directly from General Vance's private office. During the exact hours I was left behind in that freezing valley, he wasn't just aware that Hayes and Reeves were abandoning me. He specifically ordered it. Asset Carter is compromised. Leave her. Secure the payload. His digital signature was right next to the command. I looked out my kitchen window that evening. A dark SUV was parked down the street. 2 men inside. Professional posture. Ex-military. Likely working for one of the private defense firms. Vance had funneled millions to over the last decade. They thought they were monitoring a retired, traumatized woman. I packed a single tactical bag, whistled for Duke, and walked out my back door into the woods behind my property. I didn't run. I maneuvered. I left my phone on the kitchen counter, playing a looped audio recording of a television show so the directional microphones they were using would think. I was just sitting on the couch. By the time they realized the house was empty, I was already 60 miles away, sitting in a secure basement apartment Leo kept in the city. "We can't go to the feds this time, Julia," Leo said, his hands shaking slightly as he stared at the monitors. "Vance controls the oversight committees. The moment this data hits a federal server, a red flag goes off in his office and it vanishes." "I know," I said, cleaning the slide of my sidearm. "We aren't going to the feds." "Then what's the play?" "We go to the one place Vance can't pull strings," I replied. "We go to his donors. We go to the international press. And we do it during his retirement gala tomorrow night." General Vance was retiring after 40 years of service. A massive high-profile event at a luxury hotel in Washington, D.C. All the top contractors, senators, and military elite would be in one room. He thought he was walking away into a multi-million-dollar board position at a defense conglomerate. He thought his secrets were safe in the dirt of that valley. I spent the next 24 hours building the trap. Leo created a digital broadcast payload, a localized signal override, that could hijack the main projection screens inside the hotel ballroom. I didn't need a weapon to destroy Marcus Vance. I just needed 20 seconds of his own, voice playing on a loop in front of 300 of the most powerful people in the country. The ballroom was packed. I wore a formal evening dress, my hair done up, looking exactly like the high-ranking civilian intelligence consultant I occasionally pretended to be. My credentials were fake, but Leo's bypass codes were entirely real. I walked past security without a single scan triggering. I stood near the back, near the champagne tables, watching General Vance take the stage. He looked immaculate. Crisp dress uniform, chest full of medals, a confident smile on his face as the crowd applauded. He started his speech, talking about honor, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond of the American soldier. It was disgusting. I caught his eye from the back of the room. Just for a split second, he froze mid-sentence. His eyes widened slightly. He recognized me. He knew my face from the Hayes trial, but he thought his security detail had me locked down under surveillance 3 states away. I raised my glass to him and nodded. Then I pressed the send button on the small transmitter inside my clutch purse. The massive digital screens behind him flickered. The presentation showing his career highlights cut to black, and then a massive audio log filled the ballroom speakers. It wasn't loud, but it was crystal clear. Asset Carter is compromised. Lever. Secure the payload. Followed immediately by a scrolling document showing bank wire transfers from foreign defense accounts directly to a shell company controlled by Vance's wife. The silence in that room was absolute. You could hear a pin drop. Vance turned around, his face turning an ash gray color as he stared at his own treason, displayed in 20-foot-high, glowing text. He screamed at the tech crew to shut it down, but Leo had locked the system. By the time the hotel security figured out how to cut the main power, the entire room had read the documents. 3 senators were already on their phones to the Department of Justice. I didn't wait for the lights to come back on. I turned around, walked out the side exit, and blended into the city night. General Vance didn't get his multi-million-dollar retirement. He got a federal indictment before sunrise. His medals were stripped, his assets frozen, and the men in his private security. Detail vanished into the wind the moment they realized their boss was finished. I am back at my house now. The dark SUV is gone. The woods are quiet. Duke is asleep on the rug next to my desk. Here is what I learned from General Marcus Vance. The people at the top think their rank makes them invisible. They think the higher they climb, the less the rules apply to them. They look down at the soldiers in the dirt and see disposable pieces on a board. But a shadow network is only strong as long as it stays in the dark. The moment you drag it into the light, the whole thing collapses under its own weight. They left me in that valley on his orders. But I am the one who decided when the mission was truly over. And General Vance learned the hardest lesson of all. Never leave a ghost behind, because eventually they come back to haunt you.